Umpires Tom Lumley and James Middlebrook. John Simpson leading out Sussex. The long playoff back.
Good morning, Northern Road in Yorkshire taking on Sussex today. The hosts just 5 more to win in 8-second innings wicket standing if they are to move into what will be something in the Division 2 Championship. I'll be saying Smith, Jonathan Doyd for this first commentary, and then Townsend as third voice. On 28 for 2, Johnson and Moriarty out there. Ching, as it was last night, is not out on 8. And looking at the first ball of the day.
Yeah, well, it's just because I look at it and go right over it. We understand if the bird bowl something out, those balls trickle up for this own point. By the time where East can't keep teamers on, so I think that's all different thing to the they aren't pattern balls. What do they buy? There is no run. It's why questions like negative bonus points. You can't have point in them so if they lose 3, for example, go if they minus 4, what happened be in the bonus point they lose 4 points. So if they would go in the cycle, they would lose whatever the umpires do. Understanding is the umpires are saying it's minus 3. It's bowls. Oh, just shouting outside. Oh, that's a really good shout.
Too high.
Dangerous though from Adam been 6 clean to Paul Light in the game home for Yorkshire 20 to win, and Adam Lath was actually, and he said there's not a lot of Trafalgar Square end. He's in and bowls and he beats live outside the off stump with an absolute beauty. Just drifted away from the left hander through to Simpson, no run.
Yeah, definitely pushing at that one, the veteran Yorkshire opener.
Most Sussex lads come on the coach, but I come to John Simpson, Harry Covey, Finn Hudson, who walking purposely past my hotel this morning to the ground and a few steps in before they did. Well, they arrived here, getting in and bowl. I'll go outside the off stump, there is none. BBC Sussex, also via the Yorkshire Cricket Club live stream. I can see the guys operating the camera. It's quite if you look at the round to bowl the opening over from this end of the ground, which is the Bees home parket at Rafter 4 days. But it be Swinton this game. I know light quite 28 that's job there to so to acknowledge the way. And I thought Robinson actually bowled a decent spell here.
Here he is then. Up the line is drawing direct. We'll pick at least a couple here. Won't go at the boundary. But 6 strokes brings him 3 with Hugh just leading off every end where DT went walk goal. Nice as well.
I would a grand guy and the make it illegal, couldn't they? It was a only say. The nice player, you just well fed.
Slips Moriarty on strike the first time. Robin, ooh, pushes the outside. He's keen. I've got them on this one. I want to take a run at line. No. Alice Mungie, a lone figure at bar right. You won't be able to see him from here because of the wall. But he was on the very back row on his own. He'll have chauffeured down the Whitby area this morning. And whatever, 9 o'clock. Yes, potential for a nice little reading for today. Well, no, they're not down too long because there's rain forecast from this is why Boston and Moriarty.
Big news photos on the beach. I walked all the way around the Marine Drive. It took me fast until they would get away, and it was all that actually. It was the homes that were. I reckon there was really 50 minutes.
I think how you walk. That's what I said. 40 minutes.
Thank you. Obviously, very hot people as well underneath and it's gripped in the wind.
Robinson in short. Moriarty, well, I think around now he thinks we land so many diamonds, but he came right back down the pitch. Yeah, there's a nesting tea-wear call. No doubt you walked around the far end of Shadow Castle.
Well, I didn't notice that. Various parts of the what's been but it's open out. Some on the panic. Officer.
In all, a bit of enterprise. I remember walking past the week one days on. There was a little lads with down to Charlie Roger flicking something that the tea had created, like a few quid. Pumped up story about the fact that the Spanish visited here and you can get dressed up as whoever for Spanish mother. Yes. For a boat trip. Then Robinson in, giving competition there at 2-1-2, so added Smithson 2 more required 8 wickets in hand for Yorkshire if they are to win what would be a successive match in Championship cricket for the first time since 21 Andrew Gale last season as head coach. And Otis Gibson last season as head, he'd be doing the same.
Yeah, a lot of people on the beach this morning. Windbreaks were the order of the day. There's no one actually swimming in the sea. There were a few children sort of paddling and running out with sort of buckets full of water. But it was the donkeys were on the beach as well this morning, so it was really busy down in. Really busy down. First time I've ever been for a wander around Scarborough. I enjoyed it. Lovely day. In comes Unudkat bowls and clipped away. That's going to be 4 runs. Straying down the leg side was J. Devon Unudkat, and Adam Lyth just tucked inside the line, and that would have pleased his dad just clipping the ball away down to a fine leg for it. That was a bit of a gimme, if the truth be known. Live goes to 14, the total 35 for 2.
Actually, things you don't really think about too much in cricket, but Adam Lyth batting with Dan Moriarty, this is possibly the first time it's ever happened. I can't think off the top of my head, but how often has Adam Lyth been in when Moriarty's come in at number 10 or 11? Not very.
No. And good cat with 3 slips in a gully, in and bowls, and cut away. That's going to be 4 more. Well, at this rate, it may not last too long because that was wide outside the off stump, and a Nukat just Lyth to step back and crack the ball through cover point for 4 runs. Lovely shot. 39 for 2.
Very, very breezy once again across from the west. That was a belting shot by Lyth, and it would have had the wind behind it, as well as a fair bit of power.
A friend of mine's just got in touch. Here comes Handed cat over the wicket, bowls, clipped away. This is going to be more runs. Just a single on this occasion, down to fine leg, fielded by Sean Hunt. Total goes to 40 for 2, Lyth to 19. He said he's got a couple of tickets for the England-Australia International at Southampton. I fancy going. And I said, I'll have to let you know when I get home because I don't know what I'm doing that day. And he said, well, I might not reply for a while because I'm just getting on the plane from Australia. So I don't know. He's obviously been out there for a trip. Middle of winter out there, isn't it? Or spring in Australia?
Going into spring.
Going into spring.
Our Australia expert.
A few of the Yorkshire lads walking around the back. Who's that down there, Dodge? You got their woolly hats on.
Jordan Thompson far side, Ben Code middle, and near side couldn't tell with him having his head turned and his woolly hat pulled down.
So we're going down. The 3 slips in a gully already as a new cat is in bowls. Moriarty, well, it was short. Moriarty, I think, was really trying to get out of the way. The ball could easily have flicked the glove, but it goes through to Simpson. And there is no run. I learnt lots of things on my little walk this morning. I learnt that Scarborough Town were the first team to win the FA Trophy on 3 occasions. That they were the first team to get promoted automatically out of the National League, formerly the Conference, because in the old days they used to have a vote, didn't they, about whether they wanted a non-league side in or not. Yeah. So I don't know quite what happened to Scarborough Football Club, but they certainly don't play at that higher level anymore. Nudcat again in bright sunshine, but it's breezy. In and bowls, and Moriarty is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Positively forward. That wasn't really the word I was after. Placed in mid-wicket, and there is no run. Quite funny last night, wasn't it? When we went into the Italian restaurant we went into, it was absolutely jam-packed when we went in. And I don't know what it was about us 3, but within half an hour it was empty.
10 minutes, I'd say, not half an hour.
I mean, I don't know whether you two had some previous in there or something, but anyway, all the good people are enjoying it. I mean, they suddenly finished and left. Still, there you go. Actually, it was because it was closing. A Nudcat in, the bowls, and Moriarty defensively forward. Solidly forward was the phrase I was looking for. End of the over, 40 for 2, Lyth 19, Moriarty 8. It means that Yorkshire need another 63 to win.
Yeah, we went in DT and I the other week one evening, and last night we actually were on first name terms for the first time with Alessandro, the lovely Alessandro Hisse. When DT did his usual thing of trying to get a free meal, do you know who I am? He said, I know precisely who you are. You leave the table in a mess when you come a couple of weeks ago. Huh? I said, yeah, that sounds like DT. Jack Carson. He's going to come on then. This is maybe already a well. They could argue that he bowled really well and got 5 for in the first innings, so it's an attacking move, but it may also be a move to speed up the over rate on the clock there. Bent Nielsen, morning to you. Looks like a nice day for a bit of cricket. I've got 2 cakes and intend to prove during the rest of the match that I can have had my cakes and eaten them.
Bit odd that George. A bit odd that Roberts had just bowled 1 over, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, I thought if they're going to do this, you might as well open with Carson. Anyway.
1 slip and a short leg, and it is Carson bowling off spin to Adam Lyth. It did turn away from the left-hander. Played and missed. Peter Keithley sent in a few late plays for the brothers that we were talking about, famous sporting brothers yesterday. The Chappell brothers, don't think anybody mentioned them. Ian, Greg and Trevor. The Hollyoak brothers.
Yes.
As Lyth works one into the leg side, and there's
I think
a single.
Gadam Hollyoaks involved, in some sort of advisory role at the moment.
Okay, and the Gregg brothers, Tony and his younger brother, whose name I've forgotten, says Peter. Ian Gregg, yeah.
Who captained Surrey. Yeah, good call.
So that's at Jonathan Doidge 1, at Adrian Harms, at DO_cricket, or BBC West Yorkshire Sport at gmail.com.
The caps are blowing off aplenty out there, aren't they?
Yeah, they've now brought 2 slips in place to try and see the back of Dan Moriarty, who is also left-handed and on strike, and pushing at one into the offside, which is a bit of a fumble at point. Are they going to get through for another one? They're going to clap every run, the Yorkshire supporters, but maybe even a little more so by the tail ender, who's on to 9. 42 for 2. He comes again. Pulled, short ball,
6.
And 6. Signalled by James Middlebrook. I lost it, he maybe did as well. But Yorkshire advancing towards a win here at 48 for 2.
Up full steam ahead, aren't they? And of course, the sooner they knock these runs off, the less chance Sussex will have to make off these overs, Doidge.
Yep, so...
I'm sure that's not uppermost in their mind. But
no, but they'll be mindful of it, I think.
Yes, they will.
Carson in again, and Lythe having hit the 6, sensibly just a little drop into the leg side.
Which reminds me, I need to find out how many points Sussex have lost through a slow over 8 this season. I think it's already 3.
55 needed. I'm going to pop off quickly at the end of the over. I'll be back shortly as Carson is in. Ooh, Lythe with a leading edge to cover. No runs, so 55 needed, 48 for 2. Back soon.
Thank you, Jonathan. So these two who came together when I'm not going to say Yorkshire are in trouble, because when you're chasing 103, there's plenty of batting to come. But 18 for 2 with one of the night watchmen gone. Yorkshire might have been thinking, oh dear, this is we need to get our heads down here. But these two have added 30, and Moriarty, who was the night watchman, has done a very good job. Now we're getting. Ollie Robinson's now going to bowl from the Trafalgar Square end of the ground. So bowling down at the slope. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. There's a lot of sort of jigging and messing around from Sussex. They've already taken 16 minutes to bowl before they start this 5th over. 15 minutes for every 4 overs is the rate that's required. Robinson bowls, and that's pushed into the offside by Moriarty. So the first, if you like, the first 4 overs of the day have actually put them another minute further behind.
Yeah, and we worked out last night, didn't we? We were sitting down having a beer after the game that the Middlesex and Yorkshire are now really close on Sussex's heels here, and these points are going to be vital, I reckon, at the end of the season.
Could be. Robinson bowls again round the wicket, and that's a big shout for LBW, but that looked as though that was going down, and umpire Lumley agreed it was. Night watchman Moriarty. Well, he'd like a bit of Reading as well, wouldn't he?
Sure he would.
Not out. 48 for 2, another 55 runs required. Now, and also, at what point being wary or being aware of the Sussex bonus point, Sussex bowling point situation? Robinson bowls again, and Moriarty gets a delivery that Adam Lythe would, without any question at all, have clattered away to the bleachers, but he just chops it into the ground out to cover. 4 slips, cover, 5 runs mid-off and regulation leg side field. At what point do they say, well, need another 30 runs, let's get these in 2 overs, you know, with that many wickets in hand,
yeah,
and sort of not only complete the win, but also take at least a couple of points
Yes.
off Sussex.
Yeah, I mean, Sussex could quite possibly go home here with 0 points.
Robinson bowls, and that ball coming back in and defended into the offside.
Yeah,
So basically, the way it works, people don't wonder, they say -3. Oh, is that -3 per hour that they've been out there? No, it just means not -3 overall.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
they're due. If it goes for an hour, they need to bowl 16 overs regulation plus another 3 to make up the rate. Robinson bowls, that's through outside the off stump, and there's no run. In the old days, it worked over the course of a season, and I think Mike Selvey tells a great story about it. I think himself and Raj Maru in the 80s having in the final game of the season bowling something off just a couple of paces, bowling something like about 35 overs an hour for 2 hours a session, and then he said reckoned it saved all the team a couple of £100 each. Robinson bowls, and how on earth?
How's that missed?
That's missed, I don't know. It's pitched, it's come back, it's gone over the top of middle and off, and if you needed an indication that things are not going to go Sussex's way today, then that delivery probably was it.
And also an indication of how strong the wind is, because James Coles, who generally wears a white floppy sun hat, came running off the field and changed his floppy sun hat for a cap that Harry Cavelos brought out for him. So it is really very breezy here today, but lots of blue sky, a few cottonwool clouds, rain forecasters. Jonathan was saying maybe sometime after lunch, but I think we'll be long finished by then. Either way.
That was a maiden over, by the way, from Ollie Robinson.
Thanks, Dave.
Carson to continue.
Bowls to lie. That's a poor delivery and a very good stop. That's an excellent stop by J. Devon Nudcat, diving away. I mean, really, that deserved to go for 4. But a Nudcat diving away and preventing any runs at all. That was a very fine bit of fielding. A bit of a long hop from Jack. And he rather got away with that. The short leg was probably a little worried. There's a short leg and a slip. I wouldn't fancy being in there for a bowl like that. Carson in bowls. That's much better. Bowled very nicely in the first innings, Jack Carson, picking up that fifer.
I'm sure in the future, you're going to get some coach will come along and decide that in those situations the short leg has to make himself big, like the goalkeepers do in the Premiership.
He's got lots of protective clothing. In comes Carson bowls to either clips that one, or I think he actually hit Tom Alltop in there at short leg, perhaps on the pad or something. It dribbles away. It's another single, 49 for 2. Lyth goes to 27. And it's blowing a bit of a hoolie, isn't it? It's a lovely sunny morning, but
and not easy to bowl, because he's trying to give it a bit of flight, trying to get it to spin a little bit, Carson, and not easy to control in that breeze.
Carson short was another long hop, and that wasn't a good delivery, and Jack will know that. And Dan Moriarty's rather enjoying himself here, but that was a bit of a gift.
I think you or I, even at our advanced ages, Adrian would have fancied that one.
That wasn't great. And Yorkshire.
That was a rank long hop.
It was.
You don't get any easier shots than that.
So just 50 needed to win now for Yorkshire. Carson in again, bowls, and Moriarty's forward, plays to backward point. There is no run. We'll have to ask Doige what Dan Moriarty's top first class score is. I'm sure it's more than 13. Spent a couple of seasons, of course, at Surrey before taking the move up to Yorkshire. In comes Carson, bowls, and Moriarty defends onto the onside.
Yeah, we can forgive him his past blemishes.
Yeah. End of the over. 53 for 2, 27 to Lyth. That's your Middlesex bias, Dave. 13 to Dan Moriarty. Now, there's a bit of a discussion going on out there between, I think that's, was it not John Simpson? Is it? He's already, no, it is John Simpson, who's chatting away to James Coles, which makes me think, or is it Dan Hughes he's talking to? It is Daniel Hughes, I think. So I wondered if it was Coles is already in place at third slip. So I just wondered if there was a little bit of a chat between Coles and Simpson, but it wasn't.
But it's interesting, isn't it? At what point do they give up on the chance of ever so outside chance of winning, and then just try and get as many overs in as they can before Yorkshire get over the line, because again we're 11:23 and they bowled 6 overs, so they're on. You know, they're not going further behind at this stage, but they would have to bowl something like 13 overs now between now and 12 o'clock, if the game were to finish at 12 o'clock. Adds a little bit of something else to the morning's play. Robinson bowls, and Live's got no idea where that's gone. He's looked to force it through the offside. There's plenty of space out there, but he's got a thickish inside edge, and it's gone out to mid-wicket. So a very attacking field, and Sussex, fair play to them. They're thinking a couple of wickets. And cricketers are always optimistic, aren't they? With George Hill coming in at number 10, very, very hard to see them taking 8 wickets for fewer than 50 runs.
I agree.
Robinson will try though. He bowls to Lythe, and Lythe has uppercut that one. Where's that gone? Has that gone all the way into the stand? It might have done. It's gone to 6. So he's hit that one over deep third man, and that's there isn't a deep third, and that's carried all the way down there towards the pavilion, because of course Robinson now bowling from the Trafalgar Square end.
Well, runs are coming apace this morning. That's 31 that Yorkshire have added.
So Lythe, who's hit 2 sixes, faces up to Robinson, and is that's got to hurt.
Ouch!
But that ball's nipped back in, and it hasn't hit him at midships, but it's hit him in that little fleshy bit at the top of the thigh. That,
that is a nasty one.
Especially with a bit of breeze as well. Anyone who's played knows how painful those are.
Yeah.
Not quite as painful as had it been a couple of inches in another direction, but still painful. Robinson running in towards us, 4 slips go down. He bowls to Lythe, and Lythe pushes that into the gap on the offside. There's a shy at the stumps which hits, but Lythe was already past the stumps and slowing to a canter. Umpire Lumley puts the bails back on. 60 for 2, 43 further runs required. And, for Sussex we can almost say that really it's 12 further overs. Not that, really. If you think, well, they've got to do 43 runs required. Robinson bowls, and that's Moriarty swinging at that one. I thought for a minute he got an edge. He trying to pull that one away down to the west side of the stand. Doesn't make contact. Simpson takes it close to first slip. The end of another Robinson over. The Sussex fielders scampering around, trying to save a few seconds here or there. The Yorkshire batsmen are having a natter in the middle of the pitch, which they're entitled to do. Mid-over, and 43 runs required. Let's say they're going to get those 43 runs in a maximum. You would think of 8 overs, the way they're going at the moment. So those 8 overs will have to be bowled very quickly.
In comes Carson. That turns away from the left-handed Lythe. There is no run. We were talking earlier about Surrey, but you have to say, we were talking about Dan Worrell yesterday, weren't we? Picked up 2 wickets already this morning for Surrey. Lancashire 34 for 3. They're sort of turning into the Manchester City of cricket, aren't they? As in comes Carson, pulled away, and has that gone? That's gone for 4 runs.
He kept
Good shot by Lythe.
Again, it's very difficult in this win for Carson.
Yeah, it is.
To get himself balanced properly, and
it's really a very strong breeze. Actually, it's beyond a breeze. I mean, look at people's coats and people's hair in the wind. Carson again bowls to Lythe, who clips it onto the onside. Pick up another single. The ball is fielded. The throw comes in, misses the stumps at the non-strikers. Then it's another run though. 64 for 2. 65 for 2. Just another 38 needed to win.
I'll tell you what. Lythe was just dallying a little bit on his run, thinking that the shy, if there was a shy at the stumps, was going to go to Moriarty's end. If that ball had hit, he could well have been on his way there.
Carson in again, bowls, cut away by Moriarty. That's going to be 4 more. Much to the roar from the Yorkshire crowd, who are rather enjoying the Yorkshire number 11 getting stuck in. He goes to 17, and these two are really hastening Yorkshire towards victory. This partnership between the pair is now worth 51. That's a 50 partnership, you know.
Yep.
Between the two, I don't know if it's been noticed, but well, Sussex are not going to get much of an opportunity here. In fact, a few people just realised, I think, they're just applauding. But Sussex aren't going to get much opportunity here to get these overs back, you know, if at all. Carson in, bowls. Moriarty is given out. LBW. Jack Carson picks up his 6th wicket of these. I presume it's LBW, or did he bowl him?
No, it's LBW.
LBW. We haven't got the replay screen on this morning. So Jack Carson picks up a wicket, a belated wicket for Sussex. I need to go and do an update, Dave, so you can listen to the applause for Dan Moriarty as he makes his way off.
Yeah, Dan Moriarty going for a very useful 17. Adam Lythe's already got 39, 69 for 3, and just showing that when Jack Carson does get it in the right place, then it's very much a James Wharton coming in. When he does get in the right place, he does pose problems, and that one just turned past the bat. I think probably hit him on the back leg. Umpire at Middlebrook had no hesitation in raising the finger. Generous applause though as he's come off there for James Middlebrook. So Wharton coming in at 5, and if you look at what's to come with Luxton, of course Luxton due to come in then next, and then you've got Bairstow and the skipper Johnny Tattersall. Plenty of batting still to come for Yorkshire, although the number 3 is coming in at number 5 because we had those 2 night watchmen last night. And well, at this rate, as we said, George Hill, who's no mean batter, will be coming in at number 10 if he got to that stage, which I'm sure it won't. Carson bowls to Wharton, and that's just turned around the corner for a single. That's takes Yorkshire to 70 for 3. A little bit of success there for Sussex. I don't know how many what allowances are made per wicket that falls, but they've just about managed to bowl 8 overs this morning in 31 minutes. And they have taken that 1 wicket, so you can't see them having reduced very much. James Cole now coming on, so it looks as though Sussex are now thinking about those bonus points that they might lose, and they want to get that over 8 up. Short delivery there to Wharton. He tries to push that past the short leg, and there's no run. Adrian, who's just updated the good folk of southeast England, will be back with us in a minute as Cole bowls, and that's played neatly up to mid-on. No run to be had there, so Coles again bowls. Shorter delivery, and that's pushed into the gap on the offside. Sweeper out there, so just the 1 run. 71 for 3, a further 32 runs required. And Sussex now are going to be getting through their overs a little bit quicker. This will benefit. I don't know, is there an allowance made for wickets that fall then?
Yeah, yes there are. I think the umpires do certainly make an allowance for that. So this will hasten things because James Coles gets to get through his overs very quickly.
Coles bowls, and Lythe turns that one square for another comfortable single, what we the old days used to call an agreed single.
but as you were saying, Yorkshire will be aware of this.
It's in the promotion sense, it's almost an extra couple of points for Yorkshire if they can keep them keep them down. That final delivery there, I think, of the over. No, it's his 5th delivery of the over. He's just played out to the sweeper, so another run. And now the target is down to 30. And Adam Lyth thinking to himself, Coles bowls, and that's outside the off stump. Lyth plays no shot to that. And that's the end of the over. So 9 overs have been bowled, and they're just about on the clock, without improving their run rate at all this morning. But that, of course, depends on how many minutes were allowed for a wicket falling. I'm sure there'll be something.
Yeah, there will be some sort of allowance. Carson comes in to bowl to Warden, who swings all across the line, taken by Simpson, who throws the ball back to Carson, who walks briskly back to his mark. Talk about briskly. Jonathan Doige runs briskly back into the commentary box. And Carson is in again. Just the one slip and a short leg in place, and just gets in a bit of a tangle there, does James Wharton. The ball is played down in front of him, and there is no run. Slip and a short leg. Carson again. On his way and bowls and plays slightly across the line. To mid-wicket, there is no run. There's a decent-sized crowd, actually, considering there's not going to be a whole pile of cricket here. Probably not much beyond an hour's cricket. You know, free to get in. But, you know, people making most of the good weather early part of the day. In comes Carson, bowls tucked away to square leg. Well, there was a comfortable single there. I'm not entirely sure Adam Lyth didn't want to take that. I guess it went to James Coles's left hand, which is his throwing hand, but he started to move a fair distance to field it. Not that it probably matters that much with 30 runs needed to win. Carson in again, bowls down the leg side. Well taken by John Simpson. And again, there is no run. Luxton, who was very key, James Wharton, who was very key to Yorkshire's first innings, made a very good looking 40 before getting out on the stroke of lunch on the second day. Carson in bowls, reverse swept, good shot. That's going to run. Is that, a good bit of fielding actually. Who's that out there? That's I thought I'd run away for 4 runs. I think that's Ollie Robinson out there. It was reverse swept. I thought it was going away for 4 runs, but it's just a single to Warden, who goes to 4, and Yorkshire to 74 for 3. Do you mind if I open the door, George? I'm getting hot.
Not at all. The hot Adrian Holmes. It was Daniel Hughes actually doing the fielding out there on the boundary edge. Took it on the chest, I think.
Well done, the Sussex commentator, for not recognising his own players. He's going to do it again. Well, we'll wait to see what the points are at the end of the game, but then we can give you, what we do know is that Yorkshire are going to be, Yorkshire are closing in on Sussex. It'll be single figures, the lead between the two.
8 to 9 points, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends how much what Sussex end up with. I mean, they've got 3 bonus points. It depends how many of those they can keep, to be honest, as to what the gap is going to be. They might have dragged 1 back with Coles and Carson on.
Is this me?
Apologies, it is, I think.
All right.
We got, totally distracted. No, I'll do it, because that was probably my fault. Carson again. No, I think it is you, actually. But anyway, I'll do it. Coles over the wicket, bowls, and Lyth is forward. He's in no hurry this morning here, Adam Lyth. He has in a 6, but he's playing 2 6s. He's keeping James Coles, playing him due respect, and now just surveys that leg side field. No deck chairs out in front of the marquee this morning. The covers have been pulled up in front of them, but I don't think they're going to be needed. In comes Coles, and Lyth looking to play that one away over mid-on. Doesn't time it at all. The ball dribbles out away on the offside. There is no run. Sussex will be quite happy about this if they can keep Yorkshire out there a bit longer. Coles waits again. Another gust of wind across the ground. Holds it again, bowls, and Lythe clips this one to backward square leg, and there's a makeover from James. Goals, the total remains 75 for 3, 40 to Lythe, 5 to Will Luxton. So this will be the last day's cricket this season for Yorkshire, will it here, Doige?
For Yorkshire,
yes.
Yes.
Do the seconds play here at all? Or?
Yeah, they do sometimes. I'm not. It may not necessarily be the last involvement that the club has at the ground in a first team sense. We'll see what happens with the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy. Right. Here's Jack Carson bowling to James Wharton, who punches one up to Sean Hunt at mid-on, no run. FPL Spartans, prior to this match, Sussex have been deducted 3 points in the championship for slow over 8. What's the current over 8 for the Sussex team at Scarborough? Well, I think you've probably already heard that from the boys when I was off, as Wharton drives down the ground. Hunt coming across. He's out of sight because of the sight screen at the point of fielding, but he does stop that. So Wharton moves on to 5, 75 for 3. So it was -3 before the day started. We won't know until after the match whether it's got any better or worse. Carson in. Lythe tries to flick off the hip. They're all appealing. He's gone. Adam Lythe has gone for 40. Must have been a clip of bat or glove onto that. And John Simpson. Or was it John Simpson?
Yes,
it was John Simpson.
Yes, it was John Simpson. Yeah.
So 76 for 4. There shouldn't be too much in the way of nerves among Yorkshire's contingent and supporters, with so few still to get, because that is now down to 28. But they would have felt a little more secure while ever the Whitby man was still out there. 40 from 59 deliveries, 4 fours and 2 sixes. And it should mean that Will Luxton goes out there, and having got his highest first-class score to date in the first innings, may be able to add to that that sort of hero status for the match, if you like, by hitting the winning runs. You never know. Adam Lythe receiving warm applause as he leaves the field of play.
So 7th wicket in the match for Jack Carson. I mean, I always think when you get to these situations in game, Doige, when suddenly your spinner is taking a couple of wickets on a 4th day, if Yorkshire had been chasing 175, would it be any different? Would Yorkshire approach this in a completely different way? We'll never know. But certainly there's been, and it's difficult, as Dave was saying, to bowl in these very windy conditions. You probably hear it howling in our effects microphone. It really is blowing, and not easy for anybody to bowl. But 175 might have been interesting, but that isn't the case. So Yorkshire just needing another 27 to win. Carson
then to the right-handed Luxton, who pushes into the offside, and he's going to get off the mark with his first ball. Robinson a little slower than the batters were to get through and do the fielding. It was 40 off 60 deliveries, my apologies, and Adam Lythe 4 fours and 2 sixes. Never quite know if the electronic equipment's up to date or not, up to speed or not. Carson going round the wicket to Wharton, who dead bats one out just to his right into the offside. 77 for 4. Wharton on 6, and a further 26 required by the Tykes. As he drives down the ground here, there's a shouts of catch it as Carson gets a hand on it, patently obviously, and slows that down. Whether or not it was still airborne at the time, not sure, but matters not now. 1 run to Wharton, 78 for 4 come the end of that over. I mentioned Yorkshire haven't won 3 in succession in the championship since 2021. One of those wins coming against Sussex, I think. Let me just check on that.
2021.
Yeah, Sussex, Kent at Canterbury, Sussex at Hove, when Don Best got loads of wickets in the second innings, and then Northants at Headingley.
Right, okay.
That was the thriller at Headingley, of course, the 1-run thriller.
Coles comes in and bowls to James Wharton, who plays that firmly through the covers. There is a sweeper on the cover boundary. Sean Hunt Hasn't had a bowl in this innings, Sean, and hasn't been his match really. Bowled in the first innings. In comes Cole's bowls. Wharton forward, plays into the offside. 7 overs for 53. He may have a chance to redeem himself at Hove next week. The next game starting on Thursday. Sussex at home to Derbyshire. Cole's in again. Bowls. I reckon there's a bit of turn there, you know, because Luxon was playing for the balls, ballooned away off an outside edge towards backward point. Carson Fields. And the more this happens, the more I'm sitting here thinking, if only Sussex had a few more runs. Say, Yorkshire might have approached this chase differently, but Coles, and again bowls. Forward comes Luxton, played into the offside. Carson again, Fields. And one more to the total, and more applause around the ground as the runs required comes down to 23. We've had 12 over. This is the 13th over so far this morning. Coles in again, bowls, and worked away by Wharton into the offside. And again, Jack Carson, who's fielded 3 in a row, chasing around at cover point, gets in the throw. But it's a comfortable single to Wharton, who goes to 9, the total to 81 for 4. Coles in again. Well, that was an ugly shot by Will Luxton, played into the hands of short leg, I hasten to say, on the bounce. And there is no run. So 22 needed to win. Wharton on 9. Luxton is on 2.
At least 1 over back.
Thank you. How do you know that, Dave? Because the wicket. Oh, the 2 wickets, I guess. Right. They'll be keen to get a couple more if they can. Carson in, bowls, and
It's my end.
it is your end. I'm getting very excited. I don't know why. We got fourth.
You can take it away if you like.
Trying to hog the commentary. Sorry, Georgie.
Here comes Jack then. Wharton. Ooh, now then.
Is that a chance? No, I think it was short.
Felt like it was not far off being a chance, didn't he? Certainly didn't get hold of the shot with the venom with which he appeared to play it, James Wharton. But he's okay. He's on 9 and survives it. Carson again over the wicket. Ooh, turn this time.
It really is turning, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that went a long way.
You wouldn't put it past another couple of wickets there, would you, before it's done? Carson in again. Use of feet this time by Wharton, who drills it at Robinson, who can't take it cleanly and hurts himself and concedes the 4 in the process. So that didn't particularly end well as far as the visitors are concerned. Wharton moves on to 13. Yorkshire on to 85 for the loss of 4 wickets.
He's hurt his right hand, Ollie Robinson. I'm sure he'd have gone off if he'd have put a finger out of joint or something. He's staying on. I think he's probably just got a bit of a bash on it.
And he comes again, and Wharton stepping across, punches back to the bowler. No run. Good morning to John Carrick, brother of the late Yorkshire skipper Phil.
Robinson, Robinson is coming off.
Okay. Carson to Wharton, steps back, pulls through mid-wicket, 4 more. It's not going to be long. 17 to Wharton, 89 for 4. John says, ironic they've gone and won 3 games when Masood's not played. Brackets, I could be wrong. Unfortunately, you are, because he didn't play here in the win against Gloucestershire, but then did in the win against Derbyshire.
That doesn't look great, you know. He's holding his hand very tentatively, Ollie Robinson, as he makes his way up the pavilion steps. Well, let's hope he's okay. We'll find out a little later. So, James Coles comes running in and bowls. Oh, a bit of extra bounce there, you know, to Luxton, who Or did he let that go? Did he play and miss? It was taken by Simpson. There is no run.
Second team scorer John Ver confirms that the second team are playing here against Durham starting on Monday the 2nd of September.
Thank you. Coles in bowl, swept away, 4 more. And all of a sudden, Yorkshire are hastening towards victory. 10 more required, 93 for 4. We'll hand the microphone to Joy G for the last few balls when we get the almost inevitable ending. Luxton goes to 6. A belated field change as Sean Hunt goes to backward square. Coles in again, bowls and clipped round to the leg side by Luxton, picks up his 7th run, 94 for 4. Ollie Carter is the replacement fielder for Ollie Robinson, who's gone off with what like an injury to his right hand in the last over. 9 needed to win. Coles again, bowls and driven stylishly by James Wharton to mid-off. There is no run.
1,600 people in the ground, thanks to Bill Mustoe.
Well, that's amazing.
For that message.
That's really good, isn't it? Coles in, bowls. Oh, attempted cut by Wharton. He was beaten a bit, but he's getting a bit of bounce, James Coles, from that Trafalgar Square end of the ground. But just the 9 runs needed to win. Coles around the wicket, bowls and thrashed away onto the leg side. It's going to be fielded by Daniel Hughes, I think it is, out there. And I've just realised that Daniel Hughes clearly bats left-handed and throws right-handed, if that is Daniel Hughes out there. It's quite a way away. 95 for 4, so 8 runs needed to win. Sussex have bowled 15 overs this morning in 50 minutes. They've certainly made up some of the time, but they may not have made up all of it, is my feeling.
It just shows you, doesn't it, what can be done.
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah.
So, Carson to Wharton, reverse sweeping. Has he got something on it? No, not bat at least. That was a hopeful appeal. 8 to win. We might get a chance to check in on Northampton, Middlesex in a mo. See what's happening elsewhere with an eye on that for both these teams, of course. As Wharton stretching forward down the ground to defend this one. So 1,600 in here. There was around about the same, I'm advised, in yesterday. And obviously the vast majority Yorkshire supporters. Bit of turn there about Carson's delivery, and Wharton dealt with it.
Middlesex bowled out for 264, so they lost 3 wickets this morning. Northants 4 without loss in reply. Could still be a result there today. The pitch was under covers all day yesterday because it rained.
Here's Carson again. Ooh, Wharton goes back foot and beaten past the outside edge. 95 for 4. James Wharton on 18. Will Luxton resting on his bat at the other end on 7. Carson in again. An attempted sweep from Wharton. He's missed it and gone. Well, I did say a minute or two ago there could be a couple more wickets in this yet. No hesitation whatsoever from umpire James Middlebrook. Look plump. And Wharton's gone for 18. And they're making, well, maybe heavier weather of this than the supporters would like. They'll still be happy if they get across the line. They need 8 more to do so. And Johnny Bairstow is walking out to try and finish things off in company with Will Luxton.
Well, as I said, Doige, you just don't know. Yorkshire may have approached a chase of 150, 160 completely differently to which they've approached a chase of 103. But it's like a hero's reception for Johnny Bairstow. Wow. What price Bairstow hits the winning run with a 6? He's that sort of a cricketer, isn't he?
You'll probably get a message off a well-known bookmaker at this point. Having said that, there'll be someone out there with social listening going on. Well, Adrian Harms, open an account.
Well, he likes, the crowd love him here, don't they? And he smashed the ball around. What he scored 59 in 71 balls. So you wouldn't put it past Johnny Bairstow to try and finish it in style, but I say, it just feels a case of what might have been for Sussex, you know. It's certainly turning today.
8 needed, 5 wickets in hand. First delivery to Bairstow, slides down the leg side. He's have a flick at it, but got nothing on it. So at the end of the over, 95 for 5 now. Those joining us more recently to try and catch the last few minutes here. Dan Moriarty, LBW Carson for 17 off 35, including 4 fours. That at just before the half-hour mark. 11 minutes later, Adam Lyth in the last ball of the 21st over caught Simpson, bowled Carson for 40, and then Jack's just added a 3rd wicket, that of James Wharton, Plum LBW sweeping for 18 off 32, including a couple of 4s.
Coles in bowls to Luxon. He plays onto the onside. Johnny Bairstow is desperate to get down the striker's end with just 8 needed to win. But didn't do so on that occasion. Coles again. Around the wicket, bowls and hammered away onto the leg side. And is that going to go all the way? I think it might have been swept away for 6. Indeed it has. And it takes Yorkshire to the brink of victory. 101 for 5. Luxon goes to 13. And these really could be the last right as far as Sussex are concerned, Doige.
2 to win then. Luxon stealing the show. And yeah, 13 to him. First boundary of any note is a 6. And in comes Coles then. Left arm round the wicket, driven at into short extra cover there by Luxton. There's a half stop. And back with the bowler. This time working a delivery wide of off stump to leg. Can't get it through. As you'd expect, the field has closed in with nothing really left in terms of runs to defend here. Luxton going back foot and dropping that one back into the follow through of Coles. Closing in on the end of his over. Well, will Luxton look to finish it before the end, or will he let Johnny Bairstow have the honour? Back foot, elbow up and block to complete the over at 101 for 5 then. Still the 2 required.
Yeah, they've bowled 17 overs in what, 55 minutes. So, right, so they're pretty much there, I reckon. So hopefully, yeah, I reckon they've saved 2. So not as bad as it might have been.
So they might still come out of this with just the the 2 points, rather than 3.
2. Yeah.
Okay, Jack Carson then to bowl to Johnny Bairstow, who's just breezed in and will be breezing out because he's been caught at mid-wicket. Second ball, and Yorkshire have lost a 6th, 101 for 6.
Hudson Prentice, I think, with the catch.
He didn't get hold of that at all by his standards. It was dying on Hudson Prentice. Did well actually to get his hands underneath it. But Johnny Bairstow's gone, and the captain will now try and finish this off. Yorkshire making heavy weather of it.
Yeah. Well, it's extraordinary, really, isn't it? I mean, you know, Sussex have taken 4 wickets this morning. And I just keep thinking. I mean, I'm sure Johnny Bairstow, it feels like Yorkshire have been home and hosed for a little while, really. But had it been another 50 or 75, Doige, who knows, really? I mean, there's certainly some turn, isn't there, from Jack Carson? Yeah. So he's picked up 9 in the match. So I think these will be best match figures for Jack Carson. I'll double check that. You keep going, Doige, because when you're commentating, Yorkshire are losing wickets. I suspect it won't carry on for much longer.
So, Johnny Tattersall to try and finish it. Carson over the wicket. Tattersall pushing forward. No run. It's a matter of ticking the box here, but they've only got to the bottom end of the tick. They need to finish it, not necessarily with a flourish, but in an upward direction. Ooh, Carson again, a ball that turns quite sharply. Tattersall smothered it, short leg fielded it, but he was playing that around about off stump, and that's where it ended up, so gives you an indicator of where it came off the bat. Carson in again. Johnny Tattersall uses his feet and hits it straight back at the bowler. Yep, he's put him down off his own bowling. That could have been
10 for in the match.
Yep, 5 for in each innings, and he's grassed it. There's a hush around the ground. There probably are a few nerves on the back of that. As Tattersall this time gets an outside edge on one. It's down through third man. He's coming back for a second. Will Luxton punches the air on his way to the non-striking end. Jack Carson has bowled extremely well for Sussex this morning, but Yorkshire have finally got across the line to win this match a minute before noon on the last day by 4 wickets. Made harder work of it than they should have done, needing 75 to win this morning and losing all 4 of those, Moriarty, Lyth, Wharton and Bairstow, to Jack Carson. But they have got there, and they will move into second place and put some pressure on the opponents they've beaten here. What it means to them is that they've taken an opportunity that they failed to do so against the same opponents down at Hove earlier in the season. It also means they've managed to win 3 championship games in succession for the first time in 3 seasons. But other than that, it doesn't mean a great deal, because there are 4 matches still to go and a lot of work still to do, Adrian Harms.
Well, there certainly is. First of all, many congratulations to Yorkshire. I don't think there's any question at all. They were the better team over the 3 and a bit days here, and you could say that Sussex had it all to do after getting bowled out for 189 on the first day, but they battled away. You know, Tom Alstott has emerged with huge credit from the match, the top scorer in both innings for Sussex, and Jack Carson, best match figures for him, 9 wickets, beating the 7 for 96, which was previously the best. So Yorkshire have battled away, Sussex have battled away. John Simpson comes off the field, and the players are all lining up, the Yorkshire lads, to shake hands. Otis Gibson out there at the head of the queue for Yorkshire, and the Sussex lads all shaking hands down below us as the Yorkshire players make their way up the steps. But if anyone thought Sussex were home and hosed in this championship race, well, they've now got Yorkshire snapping at their heels, and Middlesex as well. So it's going to be certainly be a very interesting September, Deutsche. But well played, Yorkshire, deserved winners.
Yep. Good performance by them. Otis Gibson is giving them a handshake and a hug for each and every one. He, of course, is relinquishing the reins at the end of the season. I'm not sure that is entirely voluntarily.
Oh, that was interesting. I just watched Johnny Bairstow and Ollie Robinson, and didn't even look at each other as they walked down the steps. There was handshakes all round, but I didn't notice one between them unless I missaw that. So anyway, there's a little bit of interest at the end. Anyway, look, everyone else shaking hands, and maybe that was just a little spat they had out in the middle. But can I just say thank you to you and Dave for 3.5 very enjoyable days.
You can indeed, and thanks to you too. We've had a great laugh, enjoyed ourselves, I think, even DT. And as I was saying, Otis Gibson not necessarily voluntarily giving up the coaching reins at Yorkshire, shall we say. 3 out of 3. First time since Andrew Gale's teams did that in 2021. And I'm sure he feels like he's got kind of nothing to prove, or he'll at least say that if asked. But there must be a little bit of self-satisfaction within as well. But still, 4 games to go, as I say, and they are not promoted by any stretch of the imagination just yet. They lost against Middlesex at Lord's earlier in the campaign with a stellar side out, if you recall. It won't be as strong on paper when they play the return fixture against Middlesex at Headingley next week, but they will want to get one over back on them, and if they can win that with 3 to go, then they will start to say that they're confident that they can get back into Division 1. A lot of water to pass under the bridge, and hopefully not that's going to affect play in that match next weekend. We'll say thanks for your company, folks, from North Marine Road in Scarborough. Had a great time, as we say. Thanks to Harmsy, thanks to Dave Townsend, and I'll be back for Yorkshire supporters on Thursday for day 1 of that match that promises to be very interesting indeed against Middlesex. Bye for now.